Hello, people. So, a while ago, I did a little thing about be careful the messenger. And I think it's good just to go over that again in a slightly different angle because there's so much stuff that goes on via social media and certain events that you have to be very careful of what you take on board and what path you follow based on somebody's outburst. And their outburst, though, seems to be heartfelt and honest and truthful, comes from a place, firstly and foremost, of being ill informed and not knowing the entire detail of the subject matter that you're talking about. So be careful, really do be careful on, grabbing onto headlines and grabbing onto people's emotions. And take time to always look at the detail. Now, I've seen a lot at the moment about the recent award show and how, again, award shows are now just a political platform for people to express their opinions about their dislike and distrust, etc., for governments and policies, etc. So they just have become, a political platform, which is really sad in some ways because I used to love award shows. It was a big thing for me growing up. I loved the Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, the Olivier's. I mean, I would watch everything, coming from being a former fighter and retraining and becoming an actor and a filmmaker. I used to love just listening to my peers and, and it's so invaluable when they take time to share the journey or to speak about the craft and the process and the challenges and the sacrifices, etc. It motivates you, inspires you, it lifts you because you're out there in the trenches where a lot of these people once were. And, I'm not a great fan of the word hope, but it gives you a level of hope that, things are possible because somebody else has done it. And all that's gone. And maybe it's because I just don't watch award shows anymore, because over the years, every time I was watching award shows, it was just more and more politics, whereas artists were getting up or even just turning up to the event and just having an outburst on how terrible a country is and how terrible their leader is. And no focus on the reason why they're there. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody has a right to have a voice and to speak. Of course we do. But a lot of these people are very famous. And they can express their opinion on a daily, weekly basis on any number of platforms. The one night a year where the focus is honoring a piece of art, the work that's gone in, not just by you, but the whole team that's come together that, for whatever reason, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. You've made a piece of work that's outstanding, that has captured the imagination, that has moved people, that, for somebody like me is at times are projects that are like a dream to be a part of in some shape or form. And you go out and you do not speak about the work, the art, the craft, the journey, the sacrifices. You go out and in that 2-minute window or 1-minute window of speech that you have allocated to you, you talk about politics. Now, some people will say, well, it's a big platform and the whole world's watching, but again, on a daily, weekly basis, these people can be advocating for their political point of views. And it's just disappointing. I really hope that the awards start to put in some restrictions around, like, what can be focused on. Surely we should just focus on the art, the craft, the music, the film, the different people that come together to make something a reality. There's so many talented people that come together to make a film, a TV show. And all I hear about is politics and, and false claims. I mean, most recently, it's just, you can't write this stuff, but an artist went out and was talking about, you know, people can't be illegal on stolen land, yet she owns property on stolen land. I mean, you can't write this stuff. I mean, what is, it's just insane. And, I'm sure when you look into it, probably had no awareness and, things are sold to you and, or maybe she did, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that be careful of the messenger. Make sure that you take time to really look into what they're saying is actually truthful and or just one point of view. And number two, and extending out from this, if you're going on to do a class, a course, a workshop where you're investing your time, your energy, your money into something that's going to help you grow, that you take a moment before you sign up to stuff to check out the facilitator. Who's going to be teaching this course, or what organization are teaching this course, and what value could it bring to you? Is it going to be something that's a good use of your time, your energy, your money? Or is this just a nicely packaged piece of content that is just full of false promises? So it's just good to take the time to understand, like have a filter. Do I want to take this in? Is it going to help me grow and expand? Or is this just more toxic nonsense? Is this stuff that's going to waste my time? Is this stuff that's actually, political to the point where, there's no level of truth in it, or there's some level of truth in it, or, you just got to do your due diligence. Now I'm waffling on a little bit, and stumbling over my thoughts, but I was just so disappointed that yet again, the awards seem to be consistently, ambushed by political points of view. And we never hear about the work or the craft or the journey and the appreciation of the people that are involved. I mean, it's like all this stuff, and then I just want to thank as opposed to like, a focus on the project. And so let's just be careful out there, people, because it's very easy to get caught up in the emotions and the feelings. But I think facts first. We should be, we want to know that things are truthful. And fact, I think, is more important than feelings, in the sense that we don't want to lie to ourselves and we don't want to be lied to. And we certainly don't want to, follow false prophets down some spiral. We just want to make sure that we are taking time to do our due diligence in the information that's being thrown at us before we take it on board and kind of run with it. And again, as I said earlier, if you're investing your time to educate, to grow, to expand, you're doing a class, a course, a workshop, just taking time to check out the person that's facilitating can actually deliver on what you need. I mean, the amount of times I've gone and I've taught a class, a course, or a workshop, and one of the first questions I ask is, I ask the group how they came to find out about the course and how many of them have like checked me out. And seriously, it's like 20% of the class have taken the time to just even look into you. The majority of people are there through word of mouth, which is great. Other people say, oh, it's really great. But why is it really great? And am I really going to add value to your journey? No, and I'm sure I put a lot into the work that I do and make sure it's all about adding value. But not everything and everyone's like that. So, before I waffle on anymore, to the Emmys, the Academy, the Academy, the Olivier's, the Grammys, can we bring it back to the arts, to the craft, to the sacrifices, to the talent, and come away from politics, because we're inundated anyway with that via the news and every social media outlet that they can find a way to, bombard us with this negative stuff. They should call it bad news, right? I mean, very rare that we get good news on the news. And yeah, that's it for today. but I hope it's of some value, and I hope that we're moving forwards with our eyes and ears open, and we're not just sheep. You get me? Have a beautiful day, a beautiful week. I'll see you on the next one.